Daniel was born in a forgotten corner of the world where dusty roads and broken houses spoke of endless struggles. His childhood was not filled with toys, vacations, or fancy clothes. Instead, it was filled with the cries of hunger, the sweat of his father's hard work, and the silent tears of his mother as she worried about how to feed her children. Yet, in that darkness, Daniel discovered a secret light, the belief that one day he would rise above it all. As a boy, Daniel often sat outside his small home, staring at the stars. He wondered why some people lived in luxury while his family had to fight for every meal. Instead of making him bitter, this question planted a seed of determination inside him. He promised himself that he would not live and die in the same cycle of poverty. He would create a life that his parents had only dreamed of. At school, things were never easy. Daniel wore the same pair of shoes for years, the soles patched again and again. His classmates mocked him, calling him poor and hopeless. Teachers didn't expect much from him, assuming he would end up like most kids in town, working odd jobs and living hand to mouth. But Daniel had something they couldn't see, a vision. He wasn't just surviving, he was silently preparing for a better tomorrow. One day his teacher asked the class to write about their dreams. While others wrote about cars, houses, and vacations, Daniel wrote just one line: "I will change my story and help others change theirs." His classmates laughed, but his teacher kept that paper. Years later, when Daniel's story spread across the world, that teacher proudly showed it to others as proof that vision, once planted, never dies. Daniel's turning point came when he discovered the library in his town. It wasn't big. In fact, it had only a few shelves of old books covered in dust. But to Daniel, it was a treasure chest. He devoured every book he could find: science, history, biographies of great leaders. He realized that knowledge was a weapon that could break the chains of poverty. While his friends wasted time in gossip, Daniel was building a kingdom in his mind. He learned another powerful lesson: consistency beats talent. Daniel was not the smartest, but he was the most consistent. Every day, he read a few pages, solved a few problems, and wrote a few notes. Days turned into months, and months into years, and suddenly, he was no longer the boy people pitied. He was becoming the young man people admired. When Daniel entered college, he faced new challenges. He was still poor, often skipping meals to save money for books. But his hunger for knowledge was greater than his hunger for food. Professors noticed his dedication and gave him opportunities to research, present, and lead small projects. Slowly, Daniel built a reputation as someone who never gave excuses, only results. Life started rewarding his patience. He won scholarships, traveled to other cities, and met people who inspired him. Each success was a reminder that pain is temporary, but growth is permanent. Daniel understood that life does not give you what you want, it gives you what you work for. And he was ready to work harder than anyone else. Years later, Daniel stepped into the professional world with nothing but determination and discipline. While others sought shortcuts, Daniel focused on building his character. He worked tirelessly, often staying late at the office, not to impress his boss but to impress his future. Slowly, opportunities that seemed impossible began opening up for him. He climbed the ladder step by step. There were times when failures knocked him down, but instead of quitting, he reminded himself of the promise he had made as a child under the stars to change his story. Every rejection fueled his determination, every setback sharpened his skills, and every challenge shaped his character. Daniel eventually became a leader, not because of a title, but because of his actions. People admired the way he listened before speaking, the way he solved problems without blaming others, and the way he lifted his team instead of just lifting himself. His story became a beacon for those who thought success was only for the privileged. But Daniel never forgot his roots. He returned to his hometown, the same dusty streets where people once mocked him. This time, he came not as the poor boy with patched shoes, but as a man who carried hope. He built schools, libraries, and programs for children who were just like him, dreamers trapped in poverty. He told them, "Your current situation is not your final destination. You can write a new story, just as I did." Those words echoed in the hearts of young boys and girls who thought they had no future. And just like Daniel once did, they began to believe. Daniel's life teaches us powerful principles that vision is stronger than circumstances, that consistency beats talent, that pain is temporary but growth is permanent, and that true success is not measured by what you achieve but by how many lives you touch. So, my friends, if you are facing struggles right in it, remember Daniel's story. Remember that greatness is not built in comfort but in challenges. Remember that the stars you look at today can one day witness your success if you dare to keep going. Daniel once wrote in his journal, "The world tried to write my story, but I took the pen back." And maybe that's the message for all of us. You are the author of your life. Don't let anyone else hold the pen. Today, his story continues to inspire thousands around the world. Not because he was special, but because he was ordinary, just like you, just like me. What made him extraordinary was his refusal to give up, his hunger to grow, and his commitment to lift others as he climbed. And so, if there is one lesson we must carry from Daniel's journey, it is this: life will test you, break you, and sometimes even make you doubt yourself. But if you hold on, if you keep your vision alive, one day you will look back and realize you didn't just change your life, you changed the lives of everyone around you. And so do you. This story isn't just fiction, it's your reminder, your journey, your soul's truth. This is Global Soul Stories, where every silence tells a story and every story stirs a soul.